Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I'm so excited. I've got Jude Knight, Meara Platt, Cerise DeLand, Fil Reid, and Ava Bond with us today. Ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks.
Thank you
for having us.
So since we have so many books, we're going to dive right in and start with Jude's book, which is An Unexpected Magic. It's the first book in Many Kinds of Magic, and it's the first book in a brand new romantasy series. And the cover on this one, my goodness. And Jude always writes kind of like the twisted fairy tale kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this one. Can you tell us about the book, Jude?
I can. I've been describing it as Bridgerton with dragons.
Oh, fine.
So I've stuck to my Regency era, which I have been living in more than in the 21st century for some years. But it's a different alternative history. The basic concept was, what if the magic we read about in folk tales and fairy tales and older histories was real? And what if it never actually faded out of the world? How would that change?
I love that idea.
How would that change our society? How would it change Regency society? And so in my Unexpected Magic, England is at war with Napoleon, who is a powerful war mage. The king has been driven insane by a curse, and they haven't been able to discover who set the curse or how, so they haven't been able to reverse it. Only the palace healers are keeping him from dangerous destruction, because of course, in order to be king or duke or whatever else you are in that era, to have status, you had to be a mage yourself. You had to have magic. So my hero in the book does have very powerful magic, and when it showed up early, he was made the prospective heir of his uncle, the Duke.
Oh, cool.
Except that his magic has never come to anything. He can do stuff sometimes. He doesn't try to translocate himself ever since he translocated an animal which ended up in several different pieces in different places.
Ouch.
So sometimes he can start a fire and in a lamp. Sometimes he blows up the whole house. He has powerful magic and no control. My heroine is a very ordinary person. Her father has just enough magic to allow him to be a baronet. And all of the hopes of the family are on her younger brother, because this ordinary girl is obviously, she's not fit for marriage. There's not enough magic in the family to make her attractive to anyone. So she does everything. She looks after the house. She looks after the estate. She just quietly keeps everything running while the rest of the family bumble around, until the morning that she wakes up. In the very first scene of the book, there's a huge fuss going on in the hen house. She goes out to find out what has happened, and a dragon has hatched out of one of the chickens' egg and is busy working its way through the entire flock.
Like a dragon would do in a hen house.
Well, like a chicken dragon would do, because in my world, having magic burns out your fertility. It makes you sterile.
Oh.
And so magic comes from births to ordinary people. And so while magic runs in families, it goes from uncle or aunt to nephew or niece or to cousins, or that decision actually changed the shape of the whole world. Because
I can imagine, because you don't have a direct linear.
You don't have a direct linear descent. The Prince Regent is the nephew of the king, not his son.
Oh, wow.
He's called Arthur, and when he comes along, he'll be Arthur III, because Arthur II was the older brother of the man who in our world became Henry VIII. But since Arthur II since Arthur married Catherine of Aragon, and she was a healer trained in the healing magics. When they got sick, she just healed him, and they went on to have several children, and the royal family is descended in that line.
wow.
So there you go. That's a brief summary of the background. My ordinary girl turns out to have a gift that hasn't appeared in 6 centuries in England.
So not so ordinary anymore.
But it's not under her control at all. My hero suddenly discovers what is all that powerful magic is for. There's a lindworm born. A lindworm is a being with the body of a human, the torso and head, arms of a human, and the rest of the body is a snake.
And there go
There's
my
a
blood
unicorn,
pressure.
obviously.
Very-
I mean,
here
I
we go.
had. I know. She appears in my second book too. I haven't managed to get her into the third one yet. I like Mary very much. She's a very sweet child, even if she is half a snake. And there's obviously one of the other things that happens on the day that Delia's life changes is that her father's thoroughbred mare gives birth to a unicorn. Unicorns are always male, and they can't stand other males of any species.
Oh,
So Delia discovers that she is the only virgin on the farm, on the estate, when she is the only one that is able to approach the unicorn.
you're going to have your business all out there in the open.
Yeah. Hubba.
So my hero is, because unicorns automatically, as soon as they're born, belong to the queen. My hero, who does as little magic as possible and acts as an errand boy for his uncle, is sent to fetch my heroine and bring her to London, which doesn't go quite as planned. So that's unexpected magic. The next one in the series is twisted magic, in which my hero and heroine are spies for the Welsh resistance, actually spying in the house of the hero of the first book. And when they get caught spying, they manage to escape and are taken in by the Fae.
Oh, wow. Oh, we're going to
Because-
get all the magic bits and pieces.
I know. I haven't explored all the magics there are yet. This is so much. I am having a huge amount of fun, as you can imagine.
I can imagine. And so most of your other series is set, the Twisted Regency Dial series is set against the structure of an existing fairy tale, an existing story.
Yes.
So in this case, you had to build the entire world.
It is a totally new world, with resemblances to our own, but people that are almost recognizable as historical characters.
Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Good.
I'm writing the third book at the moment, and my hero and heroine are being sent to impersonate a married couple and slow down Napoleon's march into Russia so that they will be caught by winter.
I'm gonna have to tell my
So
sister about
I am
Napoleon.
definitely intending at some point for Napoleon to put in an appearance on the page.
I've got to tell my sister she's got a mad crush on Napoleon, which I've never understood. But she's way taller than I am too. Mad crush on Napoleon. So. Awesome. Well, it sounds exciting, and I'm glad you're having fun writing it. It's lovely when you find a new path, a new genre, a new subgenre to dive into.
And if I can take the early reviews, people are having fun reading it too.
Good.
So that's superb. It's what we hope for, isn't it?
Yep, that's exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. So the next books that released this week, we have a two author. I have to stop doing that because I did that once to Emily Murdoch, and she said I made a bad finger thing. So I started sitting on my hand. I did it with the back of my hand forward instead of the front of my hand forward. And she said, I must never do that. So we have 2 authors releasing on the same day. So the next book that comes out is A Scot on Duchess Square, and that's Meara Platt's book, and that's part of the Silver Duchesses series. And I'm a big fan of like Silver Duchess, any woman who's not a 20-year-old virgin. You know, it's like. Can you tell us about this book in this series?
Yeah, sure. So anyway, just like Jude, I'm having a lot of fun writing these stories. So these Silver Duchesses, they're not really old, right? They're in the late 20s, early 30s or mid 30s. Spinsters definitely on the shelf. And this one is Miranda's story. It's book 2. And to give a little bit of backstory, she is not a spinster. She actually was married at 18, widowed at 20, but had a horrible marriage, was completely traumatized. And after the husband died, his family just treated her terribly. So she has absolutely no faith in marriage and expects to be, betrayed within the marriage. And so it's very tough. And now along comes Bram, who's the Duke of Solway, and they meet because his idiot relatives decide that he's almost 40 and he needs to get married, and they're going to pick the girl for him. So actually who they pick is Miranda's niece, but they abduct Miranda by mistake. So so they bring her to him. He's of course horrified because to have someone just kidnapped like this and dropped at his feet. And she's got a fiery little temper there. And she's just like completely destroying his parlor, throwing every object she can find at all of these, all of these Scots who, just like, what have you done? But, basically, even though they brought him the wrong girl, he feels that she's the right one for him. And
that's the best tagline in the blurb. Is
yeah. And he's this wonderful big gruff teddy bear of a guy. And it's really her, I would call it her journey more than his, because he's kind of ready to get married and he's seen enough. He's, knows when it feels right, and it feels very right with Miranda, but how does he get her to trust him? And that's we go into the story is really about that slow burn romance where she's realizing that she can know, not only does she falling in love with him, but she can trust him, and it will not be the same kind of horrible marriage that she entered as a young girl. And that's basically it. Fairly straightforward. No dragons, although I love dragons. And
but that's lovely. I love it when we get to fall in love alongside her, get to watch her soften and give her heart and trust. I love that journey.
And he's just this big wonderful, he's just solid, and but also he's not suave. He's not that sophisticated kind of. It's just kind of like, a little grunting here and there. Yeah, I like you. Come, you're mine. That kind of thing. He's not gonna. But that his gruffness is also very lovable, and I think she just likes that honesty, and he's not.
No guile.
Yeah. And he's just very real. So, and I want to thank Dragonblade very much, because you now also put book 3 up, which is A Match Made on Duchess Square. And that'll be the story of the third spinster, or, older heroine. And she's a known matchmaker. But of course,
she's going to get her match
when the hero comes along, and she's determined to find him a match, but she also finds that she's falling in love with him. So
fun.
So it's going to be very sweet. It's it's a cute story. So,
Yeah, I got that one yesterday. I was working on putting it up on the website today.
oh, thank you guys so much for getting that up in time. So, for today's release too. It's appreciate that.
We can do it. We want to do it that way too. So,
Yeah.
well, the next book that came out this week was Cerise's book, and I love saying this title. It's Lord Halsey's Tempestuous Minx, and minx is the very best word ever. It's just the very best word.
Oh, thank you.
Can you
It's
tell us about this one?
it's very much based on an aspect of the war between Britain and Bonaparte, and just as all the other stories are in this series. So they are all romantic suspense. They can be fast burn, slow burn, you pick a burn. And this one is love at first sight on his part. And she remains very aloof. She has money. She's being supported partially by Scarlett Hawthorne, who is the head of my espionage ring in London. And she's French. She has come from Bologna, where for the past year and a half, Bonaparte has had an assembly of approximately 400 to 500,000 French soldiers. And I won't tell you what she's doing there. She's not having fun, but she is playing the piano, which she is very, very good at, and entertaining for her mentor, shall we say. And our hero sees her from afar about a year before the action starts, but he is very impressed not only by her musical abilities, but just by her aura. So when he meets her a year and a half later in London, she is now there because she has escaped, and I use the term in quotes, she has escaped France. And he sees her at a party and she walks off alone. She's just not interested in being in society. And he finds that very interesting. So he goes and follows her, of course, like you do. And so thus ensues what begins as a friendship. And yet he knows she is not telling him everything. And in truth, she can't tell anyone what she is about to do. Her mission in England is a very forbidden one, and it is demanded of her by my arch villain in all this series, a really cool looking guy named Rene Vaillancourt, but he's the deputy chief of police. He has a long reach, a very long reach, and he runs agents in Britain. And it just so happens that our hero, Lord Halsey, is a government advisor to the Prime Minister, William Pitt. And he too is very interested in agents, but he runs his own set of agents along with Scarlett. They're friends. And he has no idea what Inez, her name is Inez Béchard, and he has no idea what Inez is up to, but he is so smitten with her that he does persuade her to marry him. And there lies the problem, because she, poor girl, thinks that she can take what love is offered her and find a way to do the deed she must do and not ruin him, which is totally
Impossible.
bad thinking.
Yeah.
The result is that they must go to Paris. Now, Paris is occupied, of course, by the French. So English do not go into France unless you have a dire mission. But she has connections. He has determination. They pick up another friend of his, and off they go. And they wind up renting a bateau on the Seine. And they invade the conciergerie, which is a huge old palace on the Seine. And it is also at that time a federal prison. And so I leave you to find out what they're doing in the conciergerie. But as they leave, and this is kind of funny, I love this, you know, you find stuff when you're researching. So one of my friends of the hero has been in Paris for a long time. She is the aunt and the guardian of another one of my heroines in previous books. And she meets up with Halsey et al. And she says, well, now you must go, if you're going into the conciergerie, you must bring out my friend. And her name is Zephora Butler. Zephora like the wind, Zephyr. And, you know, the two guys say, hey, who's this chick? You know, we're doing X. We don't need to be bothered with, you know, trying to find a woman. And Zephora, who is the star of the next book in this series, is based totally on a real woman who was the daughter of American President Madison.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And he was there at various times in Paris during the terror and afterward during the Peace of Amiens. And he brought his daughter with him. And she went to school with Hortense Bohanna, Josephine's daughter. And she also went to school with Caroline Bonaparte. So she is very well connected. This is a true person whom I have adapted. And I'm just so
that's so fun.
Yes. Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, but you got to read the book to find out.
Well,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Had a great time writing this. Fabulous.
It sounds like a blast. And I love when you give us enough history that's real history that I can like really attach to it, because
yeah.
that was not
Picks the
strong.
heart. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the next book that came out this week is Katie Baker's book, and it's a Laird Shadow. So we'll catch up with Katie another time, but I'll make sure I pop the link in the comments so you can grab it if you haven't gotten it already. And the one after that is Phil's book, and it's part of her Cornish series. And it's it's not part of her Cornish series. Never mind. I had that totally wrong. I'm going to let Phil tell you all this stuff because I obviously don't know what I'm doing. The Lady in the Lost Air. I do know that part there. The Lady in the Lost Air.
It's part of the Mismatched Lovers series. You're right, it's called The Lady in the Lost Air. And it's about Miranda Lady Madeley, another Miranda, who is, she was married very young to a much older husband, a baronet, because he'd already been married before, and he'd lost his wife and then lost his child. And he married her because he thought he would get lots more children. And he did, but he got 3 daughters. So he then dies and leaves, there is no heir. And Miranda's inheritance is tied up with the money for the estate, and it's not left to her after her husband dies. And all he's left her is a farmhouse to live in. And a very assiduous man of business who makes it his aim in life to find the lost heir, who is quite a distant second cousin, who was an army doctor in the 95th Rifles and who was at Waterloo, where he was very badly wounded. And he is staying with his sister on the Suffolk coast to recuperate. and he's had shrapnel in him. He was in one. Do you know what an artillery square is? It was when they formed a square at Waterloo. They're quite famous. They formed a square at Waterloo, a hollow square with two ranks of men in the square, in the outside bits of the square,
Like a
and
double
they
outline.
could, yeah, so they could, one lot would fire and then the other lot would stand up and fire while the others were reloading. And he was in the middle of a square tending to the wounded when he was very badly wounded. So he walks with a decided limp and a stick, and he doesn't want to walk with a stick. He is recovering, although he's got shrapnel embedded in him that they couldn't remove at the hospital. Anyway, Miranda and her three daughters, who are 18, 16 and 12, discover that there is this lost heir and he's going to come and take over the estate where they were living. And the daughters, particularly the youngest daughter, are absolutely disgusted because the main thing in their life has been their horses, and they are really worried that he's going to turn up with a wife and children, and the wife and children are going to get their horses. So before he arrives, they don't know what he's like. They have no idea what he's like. They take all their horses and quite a lot of the things from the house down to this farmhouse. They raid the larder, they raid the wood store. The servants all help them because the servants are all up in arms as well, because they're not going to like this usurper who's come in and they don't know him. And the youngest daughter, who is called Margaret, known as Megs, has decided she's going to shoot him.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, he's called Harry. He's called Major Harry Madeley, and he is not a nasty person at all. So, but he is quite. He doesn't think, because he's been wounded, it just doesn't occur to him that he could possibly marry someone, because he doesn't feel like, like
he's not whole anymore.
Yeah. But Miranda seizes upon a very good idea, because she's got an 18-year-old daughter. As soon as she discovers Harry's not married, she thinks, aha, I will play matchmaker with Harry and my oldest daughter, who's called Melissa. Melissa is disgusted by this. Her two sisters think it's very funny, although the youngest one, who now likes Harry, says she might volunteer in a few more years because he's quite nice, and they can then have all their horses back at the main house instead of on the farm. But there is a neighbour, and this neighbour has been widowed himself for a few years. He was a friend of Miranda's first husband, similar age to him, and he is nurturing a very strong passion for Miranda, bordering on a little bit balmy. He's not quite right in the head. And things, I won't say what happens, but things move on and it becomes rather difficult, because this chap is desperate to have Miranda. Miranda is absolutely horrified because she's trying to put him off, but she has been schooled by her mother to always be polite and always say yes. And she finds it very difficult to say no to anybody. So this guy thinks he's being encouraged when he's not. Anyway, that's it.
Well, that sounds like a huge amount of fun, and I love that the youngest sister has her own agenda for how things should go.
I like putting people who are real in my books too, but I generally use them as minor characters. And in this one, I've got the correct vicar at the church.
Oh, cool!
I googled him to see who was vicar at the church, because I've set it in the town of. I like setting it in places that are real, and I've set it outside the very small town of Naseby. So, and that was where one of the Civil War battles were. Oh, incidentally, regarding Waterloo, today is Waterloo Day. It happened 211 years ago today.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to say Happy Waterloo Day because that's just wrong, but
Right. Yeah.
We must mark it somehow. Awesome. Well, that sounds like so much fun. So finally, the last book that came out this week is Ava's book, and it's The Ladies Lieutenant. The Ladies Lieutenant. And if you think it was hard for me to say that, you should have watched me try to spell it every time I've typed it out, because they're all the vowels and they're not in the order you think they should be in. This is a prequel to the Lime Ladies series. Can you tell us a little bit about the book and also about the series, Ava?
Yes, thank you for having me. And apologies on the lieutenant or lieutenant. As a dyslexic, it was chosen for alliteration reasons, and I almost immediately regretted it. But yeah, I can tell you about it. It's the prequel to my trilogy, which is my first series with Dragonblade, so that's very exciting. It's sort of reverse Cinderella. I have a very
Oh, nice.
sophisticated, elegant, beautiful daughter, member of the ton, as the sort of lady who everyone would want to marry, would want to be, you know, sort of diamond of the first water, and then she's ruined, although sort of it's all a bit vague about how she's ruined, and she's harbouring the secret. And then this quite rough working class Yorkshireman who's kind of quite good looking, but you know, definitely working class, and has made his way up through the ranks. And he sort of steps in and says he'll rescue her and marry her regardless of her ruined reputation. And it's not quite the match that her father hoped for, but because she's ruined goods, he finally agrees to it. And they sort of set off, and they sort of know each other a little bit. They're sort of acquaintances, and they've sort of seen each other at the occasional kind of party and event, although they've obviously mixed in very different circles. And my heroine is called Kate, Lady Kate, and then my hero is called Lieutenant John Perrin. And so Kate and John sort of get on, but it's quite sort of socially awkward. They don't really know each other. He's obviously incredibly gentlemanly and doesn't insist on his marital rights or anything. And then they sort of get to know each other, and they're on their sort of honeymoon in Lyme, and John has been previously working at the customs office, finding smugglers, and a lot of my series is set around the sort of smuggling rings. I did quite a lot of research on it. It tended to be in Sussex and Kent, but there was the occasional one down in the Dorset coastline, so that's why I set it in Lyme Regis, which I have been to, and is an extraordinary little
Cool.
little town. It's really beautiful, and it obviously famously is featured in the French Lieutenant's Woman and in Persuasion.
Oh, cool.
And it's a beautiful cob and a beautiful beach, and one of my favourite bits of research is looking up Mary Anning, who worked and lived there, and so she was this amazing kind of geologist, although obviously they didn't have quite the right terms, and because she was a woman she faced so much prejudice, but she lived there and she found these incredible dinosaurs, and my heroine of my second book, the first book in the proper series, is based on her.
Oh wow. Are we
really
going to get dinosaur fossils?
Oh, sorry?
Are we going to get dinosaur fossils too?
Yes. There are dinosaur fossils. And Mary Anning had this amazing life. They did turn it into a film with Kate Winslet, where I think she has like a lesbian affair with Saoirse Ronan, which I couldn't find any evidence for, but hopefully she had a good life. But in my story, she's not a lesbian. She's straight, although she's quite uninterested in men, because you know dinosaur fossils are far more interesting.
Dinosaurs are cool. Yeah.
And then so the series is sort of a blend of these three sisters who are called the Fossey sisters, and they are both and the three of them are sort of quite different women, and it moves through the series, and it's all kind of interconnected into the sort of smuggling world, and that's the world that John and Kate meet, and kind of I guess is the sort of catalyst for the start of their proper romance.
Oh, awesome. And I love it when they get married first, and then we get to watch them develop real intimacy afterwards. I think that
it's not quite a marriage of convenience. It's more like a sort of marriage of necessity, I think.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like so much fun, and I'm glad we've got the trilogy to look forward afterwards, and dinosaurs, because if I'm between men and dinosaur fossils, you know, it's a toss-up most days.
Yes, and smugglers, and there's a landslide, and
good.
To look forward to.
Well, ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us this week. I really appreciate it. I love hearing about your stories. I'll make sure I put the links to all of the books in the comments so you can grab them if you haven't gotten them already. Dragonblade books are the best deal when they first go on pre-order. You want to grab them as soon as you see them, but if you don't, you can always read them Kindle Unlimited. And I just want to take a minute to tell you that the Lion's Den Kickstarter is in pre-launch. So if you are a fan of the Lion's Den series, you absolutely want to jump on the Kickstarter. When you see the image, just click notify me on launch. It doesn't commit you to anything. I know not everybody's familiar with Kickstarter, so you click notify me on launch, and then Kickstarter will email you when we go live, and then you'll be able to look through what the tiers are and see exactly what's offered as part of the Kickstarter and get more information. So notify me on launch just gets you more information, but make sure you click it, because the editions, like Natalie had held them up for me, and then she did like the spin around. They're so pretty, like the stars artwork, and it's just, they're so pretty. You're gonna want them, I think. So I'll pop the link for the Kickstarter in the comments too. Thanks again, ladies, for taking the time. I'm sorry we lost Jude somewhere along the line. I know we had a little bit of internet touch and go, but I really appreciate everybody taking the time.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.